So we finally made a video on the difference between studying the academic structure for ACCA and CPA. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down into a few important points that most students have asked us. And I'm going to first talk about each point. I'm going to first talk about ACCA for one point and then CPA. Then again, the second point for ACCA and then CPA, so on and so forth. So first and foremost, the syllabus and what the two courses contain. ACCA is Chartered Accountancy. It covers everything in the field of finance and account on a global scale. CPA is also Chartered Accountancy, covering everything in finance and accounts for USA. Second is the number of papers and levels in ACCA. There are 3 levels in ACCA: knowledge, skill, and professional. And there are a total of 13 exams. These cover everything from your accounting, which is in IFRS, which is the international accounting, financial management, costing, which ACCA calls performance management, taxation, audit, and there is a specific business paper in ACCA. Now, these are the core subjects which cover all 13 papers. In CPA, there are 4 subjects. First one is financial accounting and reporting, which is accounting for US, something we call US GAAP. Then there is auditing. Then there is regulation, which is a combination of taxation and laws of US. And finally, there is a paper called BEC, Business Environment Concepts, which covers a little bit of business, but it also covers topics on financial management and management accounting. Next is how long does it take to finish each. So if you look at ACCA, the duration, if you start from the first paper, on an average is between 2.5 to 3 years. However, if you are a graduate or a chartered accountant or even a partial chartered accountant, you get exemptions. You start skipping level 1, parts of level 2, maybe the entire level 2. So you have only level 3 left. And based on how many exemptions you get, your time frame from 2.5 to 3 years starts reducing drastically to maybe a year or sometimes even just 6 months. For CPA, you have only 4 exams. You don't get exemptions as such. On an average, people finish it between 9 to 12 months. Some take 15. So on an average, you can finish CPA in just 1 year. Now, what about the exam window? When are ACCA exams held? So ACCA exams, level 1, knowledge level, the first 4 exams essentially are called on-demand exams. You can give them any time in the 365 days of the year. You can just decide, okay, I'm done with my paper 1. It's time to give it. Let me call up a center. So you call a center like ours, call us, say I want a slot on Monday. If a slot is available, come on Monday, give the exam 2 hours, only MCQs, clear and pass. That's it. That's the first level. That's relatively easy. Level 2 and level 3 exams are held every quarter, every March, June, September, and December at exam centers across the world, pre-pandemic. Now coming to CPA. CPA exams, you can give them similar to the first level of ACCA. They're essentially on-demand exams. You can give them throughout the year. The only catch here is it's not as easy. You can't just call up, say I want to come for an exam, come, give it and pass. You need to pre-book the exam. It takes on an average close to a month. So you have to really plan it. Secondly, earlier, luckily, again, pre-pandemic, you had to go to the US or go to Dubai, UAE to give the CPA exam. So you couldn't prepare like the first level of it. You can't prepare a paper, go to the US, give an exam, pass and come back. Study for the next one, go again, pass and come back. So people would have to study most of them together, go overseas and then appear for the exam. That is the reason that post-pandemic, when USCPA launched exam centers in India, the demand for CPA blew up. Because a lot of people could now study for one paper, give an exam within a month, pass it or feel confident relative to passing and then move ahead to the next paper. So that's the exam window for ACCA and CPA. Next is the format. So ACCA and CPA both are computer-based exams, all the exams. So there is no difference. Next is paper pattern. Now in ACCA, knowledge level are only multiple choice questions, objective. The skill level is part objective, part subjective. And the final professional level is completely subjective. And CPA is almost completely objective. So out of all the 4 papers, 50% are objective. The balance 50% is what they call simulations, which are essentially case studies, which have again multiple choice questions in them. And lastly, the passing rate. ACCA worldwide over the last almost 10 years, you can average out the passing percentage to 40%, which means out of 10 people, 4 pass on average. That being said, I have seen that the results for Indians, especially, of course, I'm taking most of my data from Zell students. At Zell, we have between a 75 to 80% students which pass. So out of 10 students, 7 or 8 of them pass. When it comes to CPA, the worldwide average is again between 50 to 60%. For a couple of papers, the passing rate is 50%, and for some of them, it's 60%. So that means 5 or 6 out of 10 students pass. Once again, we've seen that Indians, back to Zell, we have similar to ACCA, between 7 to 8, 75 to 80% is the passing rate. We have seen that Indians generally enjoy a higher success rate for both these courses. These cover almost all the differences that I can think of that students would ask when they're deciding which of the qualifications to pursue. to study. So I hope this has helped you all make a decision if you all are confused, if you're on the fence. If you know somebody else who's confused, please share this video with them. And if there's anything else that you all would like us to know, please leave that in the comments.